Bon Voyage TV. I'm Gerard Murphy from Bon Voyage Cruises and Travel, and as usual I'm joined by Olivia Van Leerup. Hi Olivia.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very good, and you?
Good, thank you.
Anything new?
Oh, just work at the moment. No rest for the wicked. What about you?
Much the same, and I think that's, as we're recording, we've got rain in the background, and
Yeah.
it's been like this for weeks.
Yeah, weather's been a little bit grim, so it's not such a bad thing to be getting stuck into work, is it?
Yeah, well, in our work, we're sending people away to nice sunny places, and then friends and family then start putting things back on Facebook, and it's nice sunny days. We've got friends in Santorini and Mykonos, and they're sending back all these photos.
I know, it's the same with all of my friends are on holiday at the moment. Why aren't we on holiday? We should be, you should be.
Well, speaking of holidays, this show is themed the Americas.
Ah, yes.
So we're going to talk a little bit about South America and Princess Cruises' wonderful cruise around South America. Then we've been out, Jared on the camera, and I have been out a couple of weeks ago, and we interviewed a whole pile of people from East Coast USA. Now that is New York City, Philadelphia and New England states. So we've interviewed them, asked them what there is to see and do in the area. So we've done what we call quick-fire interviews and asked them just to give us a few minutes of the highlights of their hometowns and their attractions. So we're going to bring you those in a few minutes.
Fantastic.
But in the meantime, I just want to talk about Princess Cruises in South America. So first we'll show you a very short video just of some of the things you can expect. Well, while we've been watching that video, we've been talking a little bit. We've both been to South America. You've been to Brazil, I believe. I've had a few days, a week in total, Buenos Aires, Iguazu Falls and Rio.
Oh, beautiful.
And what really seemed to be different about South America is the whole place is alive. The people are alive, the cities are alive at night, the wildlife.
Yep, and the culture is just so beautiful. I had a really funny experience. I was staying on a farm in Brazil. My uncle has an amazing, massive farm out there. And one day, after about a week of being there, I was walking along by myself, and a car of guys stopped. Sounds a little bit dangerous, but it wasn't. They were all workers on the farm. And they, in their limited English, they invited me over for beer and meat. I was like, sure, that sounds lovely. So anyway, long story short, I went to this big party on the farm, and everyone was dancing. There was a guy playing Spanish guitar. It was just stunning. And then I was dancing, and then one of the guys stopped me and said, "I'm sorry, you dance like my grandmother." And he like pulled me in really close, and we were dancing, but it wasn't sleazy or anything like that. You know, everybody was dancing like that, and it was just, you know, it's just beautiful and passionate and fun and free, as opposed to, I think often we can be a little bit more conservative as Kiwis.
Well, speaking of dancing, in Buenos Aires, of course, it's famous for the tango. And they literally dance in the streets. On virtually every street corner, every little plaza, there'll be someone doing tango demonstrations, and 9 times out of 10 you'll end up involved, so be prepared.
Yeah.
The reason we're talking about South America is Princess Cruises have a 76-night circumnavigation of South America in January, and we've sold a lot of people on this already. Now they've decided that you can do it in 2 halves. It's now a game of 2 halves. So you can sail from Auckland to Buenos Aires, which is a 34-night cruise, and or fly to Buenos Aires and come back via the Panama Canal. So it's
beautiful.
It's a great option. If you're doing the first part, you'll go through Tonga, Samoa, Tahiti, Pitcairn Island, Easter Island, both of those 2 subject to weather. Into Santiago, round all the fjords of Chile, round Cape Horn, to the Falkland Islands, which is quite special, and finish in Buenos Aires. So if you do that one, I will be there on the wharf, or one of our people, probably me, will be there on the wharf to meet you and show you around Buenos Aires, look after you for a couple of days, and then fly you home.
God, that would be just amazing, that trip.
If you want to do the second half of the trip, you'll fly with me or one of our people to Buenos Aires, have 2 days there before the ship arrives, and then cruise back, which takes you around through Rio, 3 ports in Brazil, through Barbados, Curacao, Panama Canal, through Costa Rica, down to Lima, Tahiti and home.
Beautiful. That would just be incredible.
It's 2 great options. A 34-night cruise, Auckland to Buenos Aires, 3 nights accommodation in Buenos Aires. We will take you on a couple of tours, and there will be a very special Bon Voyage dinner, which we won't tell you much about, but it'll be a very special night, and fly you home. That starts from $11,745 in an inside stateroom, $13,990 in an ocean view stateroom, and $15,545 for a balcony.
God, that's so doable. And what's included in that? Is the food?
All your meals, all your entertainment.
Fantastic.
Everything.
Oh, that's so good.
And the services of me or one of the Bon Voyage people in Buenos Aires.
That should just be 15,000
That's the bonus.
just on its own, yeah.
If you want to do the second half, you fly to Buenos Aires, 2 nights there, sightseeing, and again, a special Bon Voyage dinner evening. And then you join the 42-night cruise around Brazil through the Panama Canal and eventually back to Auckland. That starts at $12,995, $14,695 for an ocean view, or call it $16,990 for a balcony.
Cool.
There's not many cabins, so if you are interested, give me a call on 0800 266 869. That's 0800 Bon Voyage. Or have a look at our website, bonvoyage.co.nz.
Fantastic.
Now we'll have a short break and then we're going North America.
Woo.
Hi, this is Connor. Sorry I missed you. I'm either away from my desk or on another call. Please leave a message and I'll get back to you just as soon as I'm available. Thank you for your patience at this busy time.
Join us for stargazing with Discovery at Sea. Princess Cruises. Come back new.
At In Vivo, we've got the biggest crush on Graham Norton. So we flew all the way to his place so he could have a crush on us. Graham Norton's own Sauvignon Blanc. Southern Hemisphere grapes meet Northern Hemisphere fab.
Welcome back, and as promised, we're now going to head to North America. I spoke before, we had a whole pile of representatives from tourism and travel industries in East Coast USA come and see us. They were here to educate travel agents about their wonderful little corner of the world, and that was places like New York, Philadelphia and the New England states. And not many people know that New England isn't a state on its own. It's actually 6 states. So the 6 states that make up New England are Massachusetts, Vermont, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Rhode Island and Maine.
Yeah.
You don't want to try and say those in a hurry.
No, no. And now this is a beautiful part of the world up there on the northeast coast, isn't
Yeah,
it?
we should have really done this in July when it was sort of 4th of July America month, but they didn't come till after that. But we are heading into what is a peak travel time for those northeastern states, going into fall and the fall colours.
Oh, it would be beautiful, yeah.
So Jared grabbed the camera, I grabbed the microphone, we headed down to the viaduct and found these people and put them under the bit of pressure and said, you've got a few minutes just to talk about your little corner of the world. So here's some of the interviews. We're now joined by Elizabeth Davis from the Niagara Tourism and Convention Corporation.
It's a mouthful, but it's
a
Niagara
mouthful.
Falls, New York. Yes.
New York. Now, a lot of New Zealanders would think Niagara Falls, Canada, but there's two sides to it, aren't there? So tell us more.
Well, there's always two sides to the story. And New Zealanders would not be the only people that think that there's only Niagara Falls, Ontario. There's a lot of New Yorkers that think there's only a Niagara Falls, Ontario. But there are two sides, and we split them very nicely. We're kissing cousins. But the difference being is that Niagara Falls, Ontario has more land on which to build in which they have. So it's very built up, very commercial, lots of touristy, ticky-tacky fun, as I call it. On the U.S. side, because the waterfalls are actually on the United States side, we don't have the land on which to build, and our waterfalls are in the oldest state park in the country. So we have remained true to the original designer's desire to keep it lots of green space, that you're supposed to relax and enjoy your surroundings and appreciate your surroundings. And that's what Niagara Falls, New York has done.
And of course, I shouldn't say of course, I presume you can also offer all the boat tours and all the rest of it?
We can. The Maid of the Mist boat tour leaves from Niagara Falls, New York. It travels in front of the American Falls, the Bridal Veil Falls that a lot of people don't know exist, and then the Horseshoe Falls. The Horseshoe Falls kind of hugs the boat for a few minutes and then it returns to port.
And if we were in New York, how do we get to Niagara?
It's very easy. There's terrific lift, particularly from New York City into Buffalo, which is the closest international airport, and we're just 25 minutes north of Buffalo. It's an easy drive, and there are even day trips from New York City that fly either into Buffalo, or you can save more time to explore the Niagara Falls State Park and fly directly into Niagara Falls, New York, which has an airport.
Is there plenty of accommodation?
There are, and what I'm delighted to say is that there are more accommodations arriving almost on a daily basis. We just had a new hotel open a couple weeks ago. We have another one with a grand opening next week, and we have a large hotel opening up in October as well. So, and more hotels are being built. So, lots of rooms, plenty of space. Come on over.
As you may have heard, there are plenty of New Zealanders heading to the east coast of USA with all the new air services. So we should be able to send you a few more, and at Bon Voyage Cruises and Travel, we will make sure they stay on the New York side to start.
I think I love you even more. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
We're now with Whitney from the Maine Office of Tourism. That's Maine with an E, not just the main office. So pleased to meet you, Whitney.
Great to meet you.
Now, as I just mentioned, we've got people in New York. We're trying to suggest new places for them to go beyond New York or Washington. And you're saying we should come to Maine, so tell me why.
Absolutely. Well, we're definitely most well known for our coastline. We have over 8,500 kilometers of coastline.
That's a little bit more than New Hampshire, because I've learned that's only got a little bit of coastline.
Yeah, just a little bit more, by a few thousand. We have wide sandy beaches in the south, and as you move up the coast of Maine, it becomes a lot more rocky, a bit more dramatic. Eventually, you get to Acadia National Park, which is really sort of the gem of the state. It has a really unique landscape. It's sort of where the mountains and the lakes meet the ocean, so it's spectacularly beautiful.
Now, I've seen Maine on a number of movies, and I think lobster and seafood seems to come up in those movies, and little restaurants on wharves and things. Is that the right picture?
That's exactly right. So we have lots of lobster, lots of fresh seafood. Portland is it's our largest city. There's 60,000 people, but it's growing in all sorts of different culinary experiences. You can do things like go out on a lobster boat with a captain. They take you out, they show you how lobstering is done. They bring you back and do a traditional lobster bake. So that's very popular. Similarly, the oyster tours, you go out on a boat to an oyster farm and they tell you how the different depths and temperatures of water yield different oysters, and then of course you get to eat them. So that's sort of unique as well. But yeah, lobsters are certainly iconic for Maine, as are lighthouses, and sort of that the coast is certainly something we're very well known for.
And away from the coast, is there anything beyond the coast?
There's a lot beyond the coast, actually. We have a beautiful lakes and mountains. We have over 6,000 lakes, ponds, streams, and rivers. So there's always water nearby, whether you're at the coast or inland, with these other bodies of water. And, you know, it's really well known for fall foliage as well.
That's something we do know, because I think a lot of New Zealanders who go up into New England are going in fall for the foliage.
Right.
Outside fall, is there plenty to do in the other seasons?
Well, we're definitely a 4-season destination, 4 distinct seasons. So we do have a spring, a summer, fall, and then winter is a bit more harsh than winter here. But skiing and snowmobiling, dog sledding, all sorts of ice fishing is kind of a different...
Now, the ice fishing's an interesting one. Where would you do that?
So you do that on the lakes usually, and you actually drill a hole that goes down below the ice surface. It's usually at least, several feet thick it can be. And then you drop a sinker and a line down the hole, and you have a trap, and when there's a fish, it stands on end, the flag.
So are there tours that offer that, or do we have to just go bring our electric drill and do that ourselves?
Well, no, there are places that you can rent this equipment, and there are also registered Maine guides, which is unique to our state. It goes back hundreds and hundreds of years, where people, took these rigorous tests on a certain outdoor subject and became guides. It's very much a part of our heritage.
Well, there you are. We've now got you out of New York. We've gone to Maine. We've had all the lobster, and now we've gone ice fishing as well.
That's right, yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Well, I'm keen to head up that way. I think I've always envisaged being in one of those little fishing towns that you always see on the movies, and the lobster and
it would be so beautiful. Yeah.
But wait, there's more. We'll head back down to the viaduct and catch up with some more of these wonderful people. We're joined now by Vicky Simoneau from New Hampshire. You can tell me what you do.
Sure. I'm the State Tourism Director for the great state of New Hampshire.
Okay, that's... we know it's on the East Coast.
It's on the East Coast, that's right.
We're at East Coast, USA today.
That's right, yeah.
So tell people exactly where it is.
Sure. The New Hampshire border is about 40 miles north of Boston, so about a 45-minute drive north of Boston. And we are on the East Coast. In fact, we have the shortest seacoast in America. So you'll
How long is that?
It's about 18 miles. So you'll have to help me with kilometers on that.
About 27 kilometers.
Okay, all right. So it's short, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but we share our seacoast with Maine and Massachusetts. So you really get sort of that rocky coastline, lobstermen, lobster shacks, seafood, surfing, and then you head north about 2.5 hours and you have the tallest peaks in the Northeast, mountain peaks. So Mount Washington is our tallest mountain in the Northeast.
That's where the Cog Railway is.
That is where the Cog Railway is, yeah.
We've been talking about that.
Yeah, it's the oldest mountain climbing train in the world, believe it or not. And so it really is an exciting place to visit and a beautiful backdrop for wonderful outdoor recreation.
Now, I think New Zealanders will have heard a lot about New Hampshire over the last few months because of the New Hampshire primaries.
Oh, you got it.
So when you're not doing politics,
right.
What do you do in your spare time?
Well, the wonderful thing about New Hampshire is that its state motto is live free or die. And so that dates back to
live free or die.
Live free or die.
That sounds like a biker's.
It's pretty aggressive, isn't it? So it dates back to revolutionary times when we, kicked the Brits out of New England and the U.S. But what is great about our state is it's still deeply rooted in independence. And so our tourism slogan is live free. And so that really evokes some emotion, and we know that you're the best version of yourself when you're on vacation and you're disconnected and you're living free and you're either hiking our mountains or boating and fishing in our lakes, rivers, and streams, or visiting our cultural attractions or historic sites. And so really just a lot of variety within a close proximity.
So for New Zealanders, if they were, say, the destination of the year is New York, because it's a little bit easier to get to. And,
Sure.
The airfares have come down a lot. So if people are in New York, how would they get to you?
Well, you can either drive from New York, it's a fairly straight shot, it's about 4.5 hours away from New Hampshire, or you can take the train into Boston. It's a great train ride. The Excella Express gets you from Penn Station all the way to Boston South Station, about 4 hours. Spend some time in Boston, rent a car, and head north to northern New England.
So from Boston, how far is the drive?
About 45 minutes over the New Hampshire border, and then Boston to the White Mountains, about 2.5 hours.
And main cities?
Well, Manchester, New Hampshire is our largest city, and that's really where the hotbed of politics takes place during the New Hampshire primary. But there are a number of cities throughout the state. Portsmouth, New Hampshire, founded in 1623. It's about to celebrate its 400th birthday. Great historic sites, a beautiful seaside village, and then, certainly head north to our lakes region. Meredith, New Hampshire is a wonderful place. It's where Drew Barrymore vacations. Former President Nick Sarkozy from France and his wife Carla Bruni have vacation there. So certainly a wonderful place to visit for celebrities and kind of normal people like myself.
So if we're adding New Hampshire onto our East Coast holiday, how long do we need?
Oh, I would certainly stay at least 3 or 4 nights. You certainly want to take in as much as you can while you're visiting the East Coast, but there's so much to see and do. You don't want to sort of minimize your time by any means.
Okay, Vicky, that's helped us a lot.
Okay.
We're now up to about 14 nights on the East Coast so far.
Okay,
So
all right. Before you
gonna be
know
fun.
it, yeah, it'll be like a month before
That's
you
right.
know it. So great.
Thanks for joining us.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay.
Take care.
We've got a lot more where that came from. We've got about an hour's worth of videos. So if you're keen to know more about those East Coast USA destinations, go to our website, bonvoyage.co.nz, follow the link off Bon Voyage TV, and you can have a look at those interviews ahead of us showing them on air.
So, speaking
yes.
about America, I've got a little bit of news about America, since that's the hot topic for today.
It is, the Americas, and
Yes.
yes.
So, all over the news with their upcoming elections, I found this. One of the absolute icons of USA has a bit of history that could be handy when you are at a quiz night. Did you know that the Statue of Liberty once stood in Madison Square Garden? The Statue of Liberty arrived in New York Harbor on June 19, 1885, making the journey across the Atlantic aboard a French Navy vessel. She didn't arrive fully assembled and standing, of course. Rather, Lady Liberty travelled in 214 crates to be welded together stateside. However, not all of her was making the journey for the first time. To stir up American enthusiasm for his statue, sculptor Frederic Auguste Bartholdi decided to first complete the statue's right arm and torch and send it off to the States in 1876 on a grand fundraising tour well in advance of the rest of the body. The US was expected to pay for her pedestal. Nearly a decade before the rest of her body would be shipped over, craftsmen in Paris scrambled to complete the 11-metre appendage in time to be displayed at Philadelphia's 1876 Centennial Exposition. Visitors paid 50 cents, that's about $16 today, for the opportunity to climb a ladder inside the arm to the torch's balcony, from where they could observe the fairground and all of its assembled marvels, including such wondrous inventions as the typewriter and the telephone. A few months later, the arm and torch made their way to New York, where it stood watch over Madison Square Park from 1876 to 1882. The entire statue was finally sent from France to New York City, its body parts boxed separately, in 1885. But fundraising for the pedestal base had not yet been completed, so the Statue of Liberty didn't have a place to stand, so she sat around in crates on Bedloe's Island for some months. And to balance out this week's show's American theme, we found some amazing places you can visit in China. Some
Yay.
are already there and some are coming. So Kingdom of the Little People. This rather controversial theme park found near Kunming requires all employees to be shorter than 4 feet 3 inches. Staff sing and dance for visitors and act out fairy tales and ballets. It has been criticised for treating dwarfism as a humorous condition. Shijingshan Amusement Park hit the headlines in 2007 for its unauthorized use of Japanese and American cartoon characters. It features a castle that bears uncanny similarities to the trademark Disney one and a building that looks like Epcot's spaceship Earth. Its slogan even translates as "Disney is too far to go, please come to Shijingshan."
Well, that's fairly direct. We've copied it for you.
World Joyland is another theme park that treads a fine line between inspiration and copyright infringement. World Joyland is another theme park that treads a fine line between inspiration and copyright infringement. World Joyland is a World of Warcraft themed attraction in Changzhou, Jiangsu province. Window of the World. This Shenzhen theme park features more than 100 reproductions of the most famous tourist attractions in the world, so you can globetrot without ever leaving the People's Republic. There's a 108-metre tall Eiffel Tower, 1/3 the real size, a mini Taj Mahal, a Statue of Liberty, and a Stonehenge, amongst others. Wow.
Well, that saves a lot of travel.
It's not quite the same, is it? Not quite the same. Like, really.
How would you know?
You could also sit at home and look at it on a computer screen.
Yeah, but you get photos with selfies in front of them.
Ah, that's the thing.
That's probably it.
And my sister travels a lot to China, and they were walking up a mountain one day, and her fiance is Swedish, big and tall and pale and blonde, and so obviously everyone kept wanting to get photos, and that was fine. And then after a while, their guide said, "Do you know why they're doing this?" And they said, I don't know, because we're a little bit different. And they said, "No, because what they'll do is they'll take a photo and then they'll say to their friends and family, 'Look, I've been to Europe.'" Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bit like what we do here. We beam all this travel right into your lounge room. You don't have to go anywhere. But,
Exactly.
But please do, because my family and my children depend on it.
Yeah.
So if you need any travel advice, you can watch our show, of course. The shows are also available on YouTube. Go to our website and find them. Or give us a call at Bon Voyage Cruises and Travel. That's easy. 0800 Bon Voyage, which is 0800 266 869.
And you forgot Face TV on demand.
Face TV on demand as
Yes.
well. That's a new little
Yes,
thing.
that's very good.
Yes, so all the shows are on there. Or otherwise, you can just wait till next week.
Oh, if they can wait.
That's right.
I don't know.
But in the meantime, bon
Bon
voyage.
voyage.